In this video, I will set up a VPC transit gateway. This is part 3 of my AWS VPC series and part 1 of AWS VPC transit gateway. Please watch the first 2 videos if you are new to AWS. I'll provide the links in the description down below. In our previous video, we looked at an AWS document that talks about unsupported VPC peering configurations. One of these is transitive peering. You can't traverse from VPC 1 to VPC 2 in hopes of getting to VPC 3. In a normal peering VPC relationship, you need to create peering connections between all 3 in a full mesh, which is not a big deal when you only have 3 VPCs. And the AWS Transit Gateway builds on this mentality of eliminating the need to have a fully meshed network. The AWS Transit Gateway acts as a hub, and VPCs do not need to peer to every other VPC. On the AWS dashboard, let's go to the VPC dashboard and select Transit Gateway. And you click on Create Transit Gateway. We can accept all the defaults. Let's give it a name and a description. Here I make sure to specify in the description the region where this transit gateway is located. We don't really need to specify an ASN, as this is a BGP term, and you would have to worry about this only when you are actually connecting the transit gateway, let's say to your data center, or if you have multiple transit gateways. And let's create 3 new VPCs with a clear IP addressing scheme. 10.1/16 for VPC 1, 10.2/16 for VPC 2, 10.3/16 for VPC 3. I will fast forward the configuration of these VPCs for a video on how to create VPCs. Please check the link down below. The important thing here will be creating the transit gateway and its attachments. The next step is to create transit gateway attachments from all of our new VPCs. We have to wait until the transit gateway has changed to available, or else it will not show up as an option. As you can see, the transit gateway ID shows up in the drop-down menu. We want to specify that this attachment type is VPC. There are other options, but for this video, we will work with VPCs. We give it a name and then we select the VPCs that we want to attach. This is where we select the VPCs and subnets that we want to allow to speak to each other. This, in effect, creates our route table. But as you can see, we do not have any subnets attached to our VPCs. So we need to go back and create them. Let's go back to the VPC dashboard and create subnets. These subnets must be a part of the network assigned to the VPC. For VPC 1 with a 10.1/16, we can create a 10.1.1/24 and a 10.1.2/24. If you are new to networking, then all this /16/24 networks can be a bit confusing. Without getting too deep into networking, think of taking a pie and cutting a piece out of it. Then take that piece and cut it into 3 pieces. Then take one of those 3 pieces and cut smaller pieces. A /24 network is just a piece of the /16 network. 10.1 and 10.2 and 10.3 are just a piece of the larger network 10.0.0.0. And 10.1.1 is just a smaller piece of the 10.1.0.0 network. For VPC 2 with a 10.2/16 network, I will create 2 subnets, 10.2.1/24 and 10.2.2/24. For VPC3, with a 10.3/16 network, I will create two subnets as well, 10.3.1 and 10.3.2/24 networks. Now we can go back and create our transit gateway attachments. Let's create one for each VPC. We assign it a name and then select the VPC that we want to use. Now you can see the subnets that we created earlier, and it provides the drop-down menu, and it shows you the availability zone where these IP addresses or subnets were created. And according to the note, you only have to select one subnet, and this will enable routing in all the subnets of this VPC. We have to make sure that we go through the same process for each VPC that we want to use the transit gateway. For this demonstration, we only have 3, but if you have 10 VPCs, 20 VPCs, you have to configure or follow these same steps for each one of those. That will ensure that the transit gateway is used as the routing point. In the next part of this video series, we will go over creating the EC2s and some steps you need to be aware in order to get this working.
If you like this video, please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up, and smash that notification bell. I will be posting many more tutorials.